Hello.
Thank you so much for coming. And
Oh, it's my pleasure.
yes, can you tell us a little bit about the event and your role here?
Oh, it's a joy. We are here at HIT Barcelona, which is, HIT stands for Hot House of Innovation and Technology. Hot House of Innovation and Technology, think of that. And indeed, this is an incubation site for technology, innovation, but mostly for young entrepreneurs. I've been meeting with the judges casually throughout the competition. So I know I'm impressed, but literally I just came from a casual conversation with the judge where he pulled out a stack of business cards and said, look at this, and they're all fantastic entrepreneurs. I want to help every one of them. And this is a fellow from Silicon Valley who manages over $1 billion. He's a partner with the Mayfield Fund. It was David Ladd, and he was just thrilled. So I said, David, you should do it. You should help everyone. He said, I have to find the one or two. So he's here looking for that, gem in the rough that he's going to polish and bring to the world marketplace. So I think that's our goal, that's our objective, and to see it become a reality is very exciting.
Yeah, just this second edition, it just seems like it's upped the level. We've got investors, we've got people, entrepreneurs trying to sell their ideas. So it's the perfect opportunity this year for massive growth. And
well, last year when we founded HIT, we thought it was great. And the competition was very high caliber. But then Joseph Piquet, the true heart and soul of this operation, said, we have to do better. And I said, better? This was fantastic. He said, more investors, bring more money, create a marketplace. These were his words. And indeed, that's what we've seen today. I don't know if your viewers have had the opportunity, but there have been lines of entrepreneurs scheduled to give 1-minute meetings to venture capitalists, and then the venture capitalists decide in that 1 minute, do I want to learn more? And if they want to learn more, they book private meetings in the private conference rooms. And the venture capitalists, many are my friends, I invited many of them, and they're very demanding, very professional individuals. They would not be having meetings they did not want to have. And they're thrilled to have these second and third meetings. They're leaving with a greatly enriched sense of the opportunities here in Barcelona and Europe. Barcelona as a gateway to Europe.
And precisely, these competitions really have just that 1 minute to sell your idea, to sell your project. What is your key to being a successful entrepreneur or selling that idea?
The minute, what we call the elevator pitch, that gets perhaps overemphasized. People say, how can you use a minute? But that's only to earn you the right to have the next 5 minutes. And that 5 minutes earns you the right to have the hour. So when a conversation is going to be worthwhile, certainly it takes an hour, it maybe takes 2 hours, but you incrementally earn the right to have that time, and that permission's incrementally granted. So the secret is making a connection, a personal connection and a business connection. Simpatico.
Simpatico.
Something that works.
Yeah, sometimes people do forget that the personal touch, that social interaction can captivate someone.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's great. Future trends in media, another one of your specialties. What can you tell us about that?
We just came from the media panel, and it was interesting. I thought one of the innovations the panel would want to talk about was community. Community meets media, and how that's evolved with Facebook and the evolution of everything. Every new business model is community meets X, Y, or Z. The panel said, Jerry, that's true. It's been true for 3 months. Now let's tell you what's new. So the world is changing so fast that what has evolved in 3 months is now taken for granted. So it was gaming, social gaming, microtransactions, iPad, the total vertical integration of the value chain with the content to the store, to the device, to the viewer, to the transaction, all integrated by a series of providers collaborating very closely. What I learned was things are changing and changing so fast that we can't predict 5 years from now. We can't even predict 2 years from now. We have to have great skills and be engaged and deal with all the evolutions. And the way to be in control is to drive some of the evolutions. Be the driver of destiny, and therefore you create the future and you can then predict it.
That's good. What do you think, though, is the experience of the user in general?
We had experts on the panel, especially from Google. We had the senior executive responsible for the user interface and the user experience. And this was a challenge because the user is more and more demanding. Passive television, where you turn it on and stare at the TV, that's still very popular. But that moves to time independence, where I want my content at my time. That moves to community engagement, where I want the TV to be relevant to me and my community at the same time, where I can transact with the TV and exchange value for content. This is all happening contemporaneously, so it's a richer user experience.
That's great. And the last question for you is, what do you think the value of this year's HIT will be for all the attendees?
I think the value of this year's HIT, of course, is of direct value to the attendees, who will come away with new networks, new connections, enthusiasm, a chance to see what's possible, and affirmation of what they're doing. Because what the attendees are seeing is that what they're doing is indeed where the world is going, and that they are encouraged to keep moving forward. But you know, there are other affirmations. I think Barcelona and its city council are very forward-thinking in helping create this type of experience. The sponsors for this event have been very forward-thinking, but I think they've also been encouraged to continue in this line, to continue to support innovation, to continue to support entrepreneurship, and the very special role that Barcelona can play in that path.
Perfect. Thank